Well, hello. I'm coming to you live from our screened-in porch at 8224 Tifton Road with a brief review of last night's Relational Evangelism class. First, I want to say how excited Tina and I were to have you over to our house and what a great group we had. I'm really impressed with you guys and how everybody was able to share and talk about their expectations and just get to know everyone a little bit better. After we shared our expectations, then I told you what my hope would be for the class is that everyone would understand how important their role is in sharing Christ with others and not to underestimate what that role may be. And we talked about the story of a gentleman by the name of Edward Kimball, a humble man who was just an ordinary Sunday school teacher who had a passion for one of his Sunday school young men to share Christ with him. So he went to his work at a boot store and shared with him, and that chain of events led to the conversion of Billy Graham years later, and the impact that that one ordinary man made on the rest of the world. Then we looked at a chart on the effect of making a disciple every year and then duplicating that process every year for 30 years. And then we looked at the amount of disciples that would have been made after 30 years, realizing that if we did that, that would create more disciples than if a ministry went out and made 30 million disciples every year for 30 years. Pretty amazing to look at that chart, wasn't it? Then we talked about the disciple-making process, and then we talked about what a witness is. We gave a definition of what a witness is. We found out that it was both a noun and a verb. We talked about testifying. We started talking about looking at evidence and things like that. And then we watched a Nike marketing campaign from about 20 years ago about LeBron James. It was called the Witness Campaign. And we saw a number of people witnessed about LeBron James, how he played basketball, what he looked like, how he acted, and things like that. And we all talked about what that meant. Then we looked in the Bible and how people witnessed Jesus Christ, from John the Baptist to Jesus himself. And we talked about how they witnessed to him about who he was, or who he is, actually. And then we went to the divine courtroom and looked at the different roles of the divine courtroom, starting with God the Father, who is both the judge and the jury. Then we talked about Jesus Christ, who is our advocate. He is the advocate for us. Then we went to the adversary, who is Satan. He is the prosecuting attorney. And then we talked about the Holy Spirit, who Jesus said in John chapter 14 that the Holy Spirit would testify to the world about Jesus. So we determined that the Holy Spirit is the lead witness in the campaign, or in this witnessing campaign, that he is the lead witness. And therefore, our role is to be supporting witnesses. Our job is to come alongside the Holy Spirit and testify to who Jesus is and who Jesus is to us and how he's affected our life. And that's what our fundamental role is, and help to do that. So that's kind of a summary of what we talked about. Then we talked about next week. Next week, we're actually going to be looking and doing some case studies. Starting in John chapter 4 with the woman at the well. And then after we've looked at that case study, we looked at that video, then we're going to look at the man who was born blind in John chapter 9. And we're going to discuss it. We're going to ask questions about what it looks like, what it means to be a witness, what they did, how they responded, all with the hopes of helping us understand how we can witness better ourselves. So next week, it's going to not going to be much lecturing for me. It's going to be reviewing these films and us talking about what it looks like to be a disciple. Or how to be a witness and how to share. So I hope you guys have a great week. I look forward to seeing you at church on Sunday, and I also look very forward to next Tuesday night, as does Tina. So thank you very much. You guys have a good rest of the week, and I look forward to seeing you Sunday. Bye-bye.